Hey, John D here. So I'm going to show you how to set up the Wow Copter. So this is a brand new one out of the bag. Nothing's been done to it at all. So when you take it out, the first thing you're going to do is right here, you just push button the light on. It's not a switch. For some reason, everybody thinks it is. So I show them real clear that it's a push button. So if the light for some reason maybe flickers a little or something, you just sort of work it back and forth until it's in a good spot. It's not a bad battery, it's not a bad line, it's just for some reason not making a great connection in there. Or if you're flying and it hits like concrete especially, which we tell people not to shoot on concrete, but we do a lot of the times, we have to because that's where the people are. If it comes down and hits it hard a bunch of times, it may lose its connection. You have to sort of work it a little. So the first thing I do, I say turn the light on, and then you're going to look for two lines, and they're creased and printed. It's not the color change lines, but there's a line printed right there straight across, and there's a line printed right here at a diagonal. Now this diagonal is what gives it the spin coming down. It's designed after a maple seed. You've seen those spinning down. Nature knows best, and we're copying nature. That's exactly how this was designed. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to turn them inside out, and when you do that, you can see those lines very clearly with the light on. So you're going to give just about a 10% tweak on that top one. See that? Not a lot, just a little bit. And then you're going to give about a 30 to 40% on that one. Also not a lot, not hard. That's incorrect. And then there's going to be two lines on the other wing. So a total of 4 lines, and you want them to be bent as evenly as possible. Now that bottom line has to be on the angle or it won't create the spin that makes it work. That's how it works. So that's about right. Now when I bend them, what makes the flight ineffective is a couple of things. First of all, you don't want these bends to be too sharp. So I always soften them up just a little. I sort of squeeze right over them and soften them up. You want more of a gradual instead of a pop, pop, okay? So I always soften them up a little. And I'll usually bend it a little more the first flight and then soften the whole thing up more, because when you shoot this thing off, it's like a rocket. The wind speed is going to keep the wings pulled back like this. This is one of the big difference in a great copter and one of the knockoff pieces of junk you can get dirt cheap, is that these wings are made from a very specific plastic. It's the absolute perfect thickness. I've tried tons of different prototypes. If it's off just a little, it's a junk copter. It doesn't fly good. It doesn't go up high. It doesn't come down slow. And we've got the perfect one here that does both of those things perfectly. So the more it's bent, the slower it'll float down. Okay? But also the more resistance it's got going up. You may get 100 feet out of one like this. You may get 30 feet. But if you soften it up, that's where you're going to get the full 200 feet. So I tell people all the time, hey, this is simple, but it is rocket science. It truly is. It's a good, I use that when I'm selling these. It's a good educational about the aerodynamics of flight with your children. So this looks like about right. I mean, since it's no wind tonight, it usually takes a hair more to get it open when there's no wind. That's about where I'm going to leave it right there. So that's a copter that's set up and ready to fly. And after the first flight, we'll see if it needs anything. So here's the way you do it. First, you're going to get your deluxe slingshot, which we give with absolutely every copter. That's the way we do it, because we want everybody to be able to shoot it easy. We don't want anybody shooting their thumbs. And with all of our competitors, the kids have a hard time and they don't do that good. So we're going to take this. You just hold it with your thumb on the bottom. There's a flat spot on this side, a rubber band hook on that side. You want your thumb on the bottom and squeeze tight. Rubber bands pointing down. Then with the copter, you squeeze the handle in the middle, pinchers. I always get the kids or adults, show me your pinchers, and then I open this up and say pinch right there, and they still sometimes don't get it. You got to show them like this. Now pinch, and that's the way you do it, and they'll pinch right there. Not like this, because that makes air resistance as it launches, and they'll hit this. Pinchers right in the middle. Easy. Hold this, just hook on just like that. And now we're going to get ready to fly it. You just hold it up square. You don't want it to be like this, like that, like that. It'll hit. You want it to fly straight through the center. So pull it down perfectly square, just like this. Pull it down and just let it slip out of your fingers right here. That's it. And boom. And catch. That was a really great flight. Now, if when you shoot it, it hits this, you know, because you weren't lined up correctly. Do I need to turn for the light? Sorry, we're doing this in the dark so you can see it. We're trying to take advantage of the Walmart lights out here. If it hits on here, you'll feel it, you'll hear it clink, clink as it goes up. It'll probably not shoot right. A lot of times what will happen if you hit the launcher, it'll slip off this little thing right here. All right, it will never fly right with that off. So if it's not flying right, not opening right, look at it. And then all you got to do is grab it. These wings are very strong. They're durable. Just pop it right back into the center. Just like that. If when you let it go, it makes a noise like a door stopper, boing, that means that the wings probably are too bent. So soften them up a little bit. If it comes down sideways like this, it's probably uneven. Maybe one side's like that, you know. So play with the flight of it. The key in selling these is learning how to shoot them and make them come back to you and you catch it. Shooting them and letting your kids catch it is okay, but if you really want to sell a bunch, you got to be able to right there in front of them, shoot it, make it come back to you. You do that by the wind. That'll be our next video. So hopefully that teaches you how to set up the Wow Copter, how to shoot it, and how to adjust it to make it fly right. One other thing that's very important, when you open it, this one didn't have this problem, but when you open it, I've got the bag right here, there's none in there, but sometimes the holes that are left from these cutouts, there's 4 cutouts to hold the wing on, sometimes they'll be hanging on there still. You got to be sure they're not, especially these clear ones at the bottom. You got to look close, and I actually put my nail on both sides to make sure, because sometimes they'll be attached on one side and you can't see it because it's clear. That'll make it fly crazy going up. So that's one other thing. So that's how to set up and shoot a Wow Copter. I hope you got it. If you got any questions, let me know.